it's been an emotional few days for England fans. The men's team were defeated in Sunday's Euro final, and today their manager Gareth Southgate resigned after 8 years in charge. We'll have a reaction to that coming up in the show, but we will switch our attention to the Lionesses tonight, who have one game left to seal qualification for Euro 2025. They face Sweden, needing just a point following their win at Carrow Road 4 days ago.
It's game 5 of 6 in Euro 2025 qualification for England and Ireland. It's a lovely move for England, and it's finished off by Russo. Must be a penalty. Georgia Stanway slots it away. Nick Russell, and Ireland do have their goal. For England, attention now turns to Sweden.
England got the job done against Ireland, but away in Rothenburg tonight poses a very different challenge. The Lionesses have never won away on Swedish soil, and their last draw here was 42 years ago. Sarina Wiegman makes 3 changes to the side who started at Carrow Road 4 days ago. Sweden's loss to France on Friday has given England the advantage, but their talented side will be determined to clinch qualification themselves after already missing out on this summer's Olympics. Our kick-off at the Gamla Ullevi is at 6 o'clock this evening. OK, let's have a little look at the table. This is how things have panned out so far. France's victory on Friday, that sealed their automatic qualification, meaning it's a two-way shootout between England and Sweden tonight for the remaining spot. At least a draw will book England's ticket, and a win for Sweden would see them draw level on points and qualify on their head-to-head record. Ireland are destined for the playoffs. Thanks for joining us. I'm delighted to be joined by former Lionesses Karen Carney and Eni Aluko. Great to see you too. Big game for the Lionesses tonight, but we're going to start things off with the breaking news from today. England men's manager Gareth Southgate resigns from his position after the Euros defeat and 8 years in charge. OK, here's what he had to say. This is part of his statement. As a proud Englishman, it's been an honour of my life to play for England and to manage England. It has meant everything to me and I've given it my all. But it's time for a change and for a new chapter. Sunday's final in Berlin against Spain was my final game as England manager. Well, there was a lot of speculation, wasn't there, as to whether or not this would be the case and whether or not win or lose at the Euros in the final, he would walk away. What's your initial reaction to that news today, Karen?
My initial reaction, I was sad, actually.
Yeah.
Really sad. And, of course, we all wanted England to win on Sunday, but I also kind of wanted him to end on a win if now that's been his final game. But I think it's probably the right time for him and maybe the right time for England as well. I think he received a lot of abuse and it was unnecessary for what he's done. But maybe England as a team need a little bit of a refresh and to go again.
His tenure has been quite impressive, really, when you look at what they've managed to do. 2 major finals, a World Cup semi-final as well in his time as England manager. Does it go down as a successful tenure for you?
Absolutely. And legacy is one of those things. It's very hard sometimes to judge in the moment. And I think we're going to be talking about what Gareth Southgate has achieved with his England team for many years to come. 2 semi-finals, back-to-back finals for Euros is no mean feat. It's an unbelievable job. What he's done for culture as well. You know, I think very likeable group that he's managed, completely changed the culture. Thank you to Gareth Southgate, I think. And as players or a manager, all you want to do is you want to put the shirt and the team in a better place than you found it. He's absolutely done that.
It's easy to forget that as well, isn't it, where he found this England side, the relationship with the fans as well, for the players, and the unity that he actually managed to create. You also had a 60% win ratio, which isn't to be sneered at.
I mean, we've got to be careful what we wish for, because everyone was wanting more and more, but look at his record now and we're all reflecting on it, and you asked me what my emotion was, I was sad. So we have to be careful what we wish for, and the FA have got to be really, really careful about their next decision, and I would urge them to take the time. They took the time to find Sarina, the right person, and I think they've got to take their time to find the right person for Gareth, because we can't lose that culture. We've got to keep that, but it's turning silver to gold now.
Just by looking at what the bookies are saying and some of the people online as well, the names that are coming up, Graham Potter's the favourite, and of course he turned down Ajax and Leicester, so you wonder if he's got something in mind. Is it the England job? Lee Carsey as well, who's the under-21s manager.
Yeah, big fan of him.
Eddie Howe's in there, Maurizio Pochettino, Jurgen Klopp. Who would you go with, Eni? You're the head of the FA.
Absolute dream would be Jurgen Klopp. I think England men are actually in a very similar place to where the Lionesses were, where back-to-back semi-finals, and then it was just getting that next step. I think now, and to do that, you had to bring in a winner like Serena Wiegman, who did that. I think the men's team are in a similar place, and I think ultimately, if you bring in a winner like Klopp, he will be the personality. He's had that winning experience. He can do it. Does it feel like a little bit of a dream? Maybe, because he's on a break. But if you ask me what my absolute dream favourite would be to take on the England men, it would be Klopp.
I haven't got time for you, Karen, but have a little think about it. Back to tonight's game. She got out that one, didn't she? This is the team that Serena Wiegman had decided to go with tonight in Gothenburg. So it is 3 changes. As we mentioned a minute ago, Lucy Bronze, Millie Bright, Ella Toone, they all come into the side. Jess Park, Alex Greenwood and Maya Letitia, they all dropped to the bench. It's the same 11 that started against France. And it's a pretty good 11, isn't it? We're going to hear the thoughts of Serena Wiegman now, speaking to Katie Shanahan.
Serena, Hannah Hampton starts for a 3rd straight game over Mary Earps with both goalkeepers fit. There's real competition for that #1 spot, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. That competition has been going on for a while now. And Hannah Hampton came in, of course, because of the injury of Mary, but also because of the competition. She's done well, and we kept her in the lineup.
Why have you kept her in the lineup?
Yeah, because she has done well, but Mary has done well too. And as I said, this is a big competition. So for tonight, she's in.
Ella Toone comes in for Jess Park, who got player of the match last time out. What's the thinking there?
Well, we had to manage some minutes on Friday. And of course, some players are also knocking on the door. One of them is Jess Park. We wanted to manage some yellow cards, not taking too much risk. And we wanted to manage minutes to get ready for tonight. And Ella Toone now is in the starting lineup.
And we're back seeing that Euro-winning centre-back partnership with Millie Bright coming back into the fold. You've gone with your tried and tested defenders, especially for a game of this magnitude.
Yeah, of course, we're finding balance in the back. We know we have to defend really well, but we also want to play in possession. We've played with many players as centre-backs over the last year, but I think at this moment, this is the best defence for the team.
OK, there you go. Serena Wiegman having a little chat with Katie Shanahan there. What do we think of this team? Do we like it any?
Yeah, I think it's a strong team. It's the strongest team that Serena can pick. It's a big game. You know, the team knows what they have to do, only need to pick up a draw. And I think ultimately this is the team that have navigated a really tough group. I think England's best performance was France away. This is the same team. So I fully expect England to go into this confident that they can get the result and qualify for the Euros.
Hannah Hampton keeps her place in goal. Mary Earps is available and is on the bench. Congratulations to Hannah, because she's done what she needs to do to keep in Serena's 11.
Well, it was a big call. Serena Wiegman had the goalkeeping and the centre-back issue, whether Alex Greenwood would play or whether Mary Earps would play, and she stuck with Hannah and Millie and Leah in that defensive partnership. But Hannah has done really well towards the back end of her time last season at Chelsea. I think now it really is a race, and I think Annie said this is Serena's strongest team. That's a statement playing her today. So I think now Hannah is in that #1 position, and she'll be saying, I've got to hold on to it and I've got to keep it. Because this time next year, should we qualify, this could be the quarterfinals of the Euros. So that is a big statement playing her today, because if Mary is fit, she's picked Hannah.
Yeah, she has. And for Sweden, they've made quite a few changes. They've got 5. This is a very strong Sweden side as well, playing the Lionesses tonight. Eriksson, Aslani and Angeldal, Lundqvist and also Unogi, they all come into this side to face Serena Wiegman's Lionesses. I mean, wow, when you look at that and considering that they drew 1-1 with them last time, what do you think of that team, Annie?
Well, I think Blackstenius, first of all, is a big loss for Sweden. You mentioned that game at Wembley. I think she was a big threat on the transition for Sweden. Rolfo, obviously, is a strong player on the wing, and Janogi's got pace in behind. So I think England have to always watch out for that against Sweden, that transition. Set pieces as well is always a strength. Obviously conceded on Friday against Republic of Ireland in a set piece. So those are the 2 watch-outs for me for England. But I think Blackstenius is a big miss for Sweden.
They've got goals in Rolfo, don't they? 30 goals, 88 caps. She's experienced. She's a danger, Karen.
Yeah, she is. Huge fan. She had a knee injury and came back about March, so she's back into the full rhythm of things now. But she's strong, she's powerful. And Annie mentioned there the counter-attack. That's their biggest weapon, I think. I don't think they're going to come and outpossess England. I really don't feel like that. We'll have the ball, but it's when we give the ball away, and we've seen that against teams throughout this campaign, we're actually quite vulnerable, and she'll be a huge threat for them. OK, let's find out what comes up very, very shortly. After the break, though, we're going to hear from Georgia Stanway, who assesses England's qualifying campaign so far, and also we'll be talking about going to the next level. Back in a moment. Hi all, welcome back. These are the scenes currently in Gothenburg. Almost 19,000 fans are expected at the Gamla Ullevi Stadium tonight for the Lionesses' decisive qualifier against Sweden. And Georgia Stanway, you can see there, will make her 71st appearance and has been an ever-present figure in Serena Wiegem's side. She caught up with Katie Shanahan on the challenge ahead.
What 3 words would you use to sum up the Euro qualifying campaign?
I'd say difficult, progressive, and I'd say momentum. We've got more and more into the games. I think we're getting into some really good form at the moment, and that's where I'd bring in the momentum. We've had a really good performance against France. I remember us having a talk after the game and just saying that this is the standard that we want. This is exactly the level of performance that we want. I'd had some difficult questions and difficult conversations leading up to that game. I wanted to know how Serena wants me to influence games more. I'd had a really good conversation where she said, you can be free, you can go and express yourself. And I think that was the game where I just went over that white line and I just played exactly how I'd want to play. I think there was really good moments in the Ireland game also that showcased exactly who we are, how we want to play. Especially the build-up to leading to that first goal. That's exactly the playing style that we want to show.
We created still a lot of chances, but we should have played more in the pockets and more behind, I think. So we were sloppy at moments too.
I think she was a little bit harsh after that game. We moved the ball really well at times. But yeah, I totally understand what she means in terms of us being sloppy in possession, and we have to create our chances and we have to put the ball in the back of the net.
A key part of Stanway's success was her time at Blackburn Rovers, who are subject to reports that they'll be paying their women's team minimum wage next season, around £9,000 per year.
It was kind of just a message of support to the players to say that we stand with you in this because we also don't think it's acceptable. Blackburn were the most important thing in my life. I was there from the age of 12 to 16. I just hope that they jump on the fact that the women's game's growing.
Hopefully going forward this will happen less and less with more and more proof that an investment in women's football is worth it and it is lucrative.
What quality do you need to have to get a result against Sweden?
The most important thing is that we get a result from the game. We knew coming into camp that it was going to come down to this game. If we win that game, we qualify.
So the Lionesses with an important task tonight, but also an important message there from Georgia Stanway. So I wanted to pick up on what she was talking about with Blackburn as well. The average salary now being for them £9,000 a year. And when you compare it, just to give you an example, across the WSL, the average for the top players is £47,000. It feels a little bit, when you combine it with what's happening at Manchester United as well, and then basically saying the women's team will be moved out of their residence where they train, the men's team will come in while they're having building work. It feels like a massive step backwards. And Karen, you did the review into women's football. What do you make of that in conjunction with what you've experienced?
I think, sadly, the Blackburn issue, it's in the review. If you read my review, it's in there. It talks about how women's teams are so underpaid. And if you're on £9,000 a year, you've got to go and get other jobs. Then the injury rates go up and you have this massive vicious cycle. And I called for an absolute minimum salary that a female player should be on. And they should, because that's unacceptable, really. It's unacceptable. And I think about the Manchester United women's team having a facility built. It's like building a home and then saying, "Nah, go on, you can't have your home and we're moving you out." And again, it's like, where's people's mindsets about the women's game? And I understand we're playing catch up and people keep challenging me on this. I understand people keep challenging me on the commercial value of it. But if you put it in, if you market it well, there's some brilliant evidence, and you're an owner yourself of a women's team, you can make massive strides, and we shouldn't be accepting anything less. Now, there should be minimum standards on facilities, on medical care and payment, Laura.
In 2024, everything Kaz has just said. I mean, we saw in that picture there, Georgia Stanway and Ella Toone, two of our, most successful midfield players for England who started at Blackburn. So if that's not enough inspiration and that's not enough of a legacy for Blackburn to go, actually, let's just keep investing in this because we produced two of our best England players, I'm not really too sure what is. So it's disappointing, but I think we have to continue making sure that those minimum standards are there, that investment's there, but also the consequence if you're not meeting these standards for women and girls in the UK.
Well said, you two. All right, well, look, we've got to go to the break, but there is a rich history between these two teams that we're going to see play tonight. Sweden won the first Euros back in 1984, beating England. That was in a penalty shootout at Kenilworth Road after it finished 1-1 over 2 legs. And who can forget back in 2022 in the Euro semi-finals, England thrashed Sweden 4-0 on their way to securing the country's first major trophy in 56 years. The next encounter, Sweden against England, is coming up next. Here we go, England against Sweden, in Sweden, which has been a very, very difficult place to go. They haven't won a point there for 42 years, but a point tonight will be enough to secure England's qualification for Euro 2025. Let's get you straight over to your commentary team, guiding us through all the action. Lucy Ward alongside Seb Hutchinson.
Thank you, Laura. 5 games played and still one automatic spot to be settled. The two nations who contested the first ever Euros final face off for the most direct route to reach next year's finals. Sweden have to win. England must not lose. It's up for grabs in Gothenburg. And a packed Gothenburg, I might add, a sellout. Swedish hopes at stake. Can the Lionesses hold them off? First up, the national anthems.
För nationalsångerna. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for the national anthems, starting with the national anthem of England. Kära publik, här är Du gamla, du fria.
Sweden against England, and all the action after this short break. Well, a crucial European Championship qualifier. Everything at stake for these two nations. And let's take a look at the two lineups. England make 3 alterations from their win over Ireland, but a look at the Sweden team sees 5 changes from their defeat in France on Friday, with a returning experience of Eriksson in defence, Angodal and Aslani in midfield, and Yanogi in the front line. Barcelona star Fridolina Rolfö scored at Wembley in April's 1-1 draw. And England start with the same side that beat France in France. Millie Bright, Lucy Bronze and Ella Toone back in the lineup. And significantly, Hannah Hampton retains her place in goal ahead of Mary Earps. Well, for Peter Gerhardsson, over 100 games in charge of Sweden, an experienced manager, but Sarina Wiegman hoping to take England back to the European Championship to defend their title. Sweden know they must win this match to go directly to Switzerland next summer. Otherwise, it's the playoffs. And England know that as well. Their task made slightly easier by Sweden losing to France on Friday and England winning, but still a huge job to be done. Both sides resting players in their matches on Friday, knowing that whatever happened on Friday, this was going to be the decisive match. Jura Musovic in goal for Sweden. Both sets of players taking the knee, as England do at every one of their matches. Away we go. England have never won in Sweden, but thankfully they don't need to tonight. Their hosts will have to attack. But at what point, Lucy?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one, this, because England will need to be at the best. No complacency whatsoever. But I think this England team have tended to rise to the occasion. When they've been put under pressure in the past and they've had to put up a big performance, then they tend to do that. But Sweden are very, very good. They know what they've got to do to get to the Euros next summer and make all the makers of a cracking game.
It's a tough place for England to have to come to get the job done. The leading lights of women's football, Sweden, but England are certainly one of the leading lights nowadays. The reigning European champions. Any kind of positive result will do. It's Millie Bright, who was rested in that game on Friday. Angodal, one of those rested. Sweden lost to France.
Yeah, certainly an interesting team selection from Sarina Wiegman, particularly in goal. The fact that she's chose Hannah Hampton, who probably is her #1 now, it's arguably, but Mary Earps has been absolutely brilliant in goal for England, but maybe this is a changing of the guard.
And Hemp passing that ball inside. And if you were looking at the table, or wondering the fact that England are 3 points ahead of Sweden and why a Sweden win would send them directly there, teams separated by the head-to-head record rather than goal difference. And Sweden having to win would mean they would have the superior head-to-head, considering it was 1-1 at Wembley in the return.
Yeah, the Wembley game was interesting because Sweden put a lot of pressure on Keira Walsh. You know, they recognised that for England to play well, Keira Walsh has to play well, and they pressed her and tried to mark her out of the game, and it actually worked to a certain extent. And England had an issue when couldn't get her on the ball.
Nicely cut play on this left-hand side, and Toone all the way into the penalty area. He's allowed to go a long way there to earn England a corner. Sembrant across, all that experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good run here from Ella Toon in the end, but look how much space she's got into it as a defender, just allowing her to get into the box. And it's just a shame the final ball wasn't good because the players waiting in there, or even a shot, she had enough space.
So Beth Mead to take this corner for England. All the set pieces work out today. Both sides strong from them. What about defensively for Sweden? Corner comes in. On their way. Two. Mead didn't catch hold of that ball into the penalty area, but it's awkward for Sweden to clear. Lundqvist caught there. And look at this from Russo. Good on the end of it. Burst into the box. Decent pressure from England.
Yeah, finding a bit of space in between centre-back and right-back. Lundqvist. Beth Mead again, as they were last week in the game, playing inverted. So Hemp on that right-hand side and Mead on the left-hand side.
We've got two Chelsea goalkeepers today. Vucevic for Sweden, and Hannah Hampton for England. Both have centre-back Chelsea connections in front of them. Eriksson, former Chelsea captain. Millie Bright, current Chelsea captain. Vucevic going long. Angeldal. Hampton taking a chance, hoping that ball would go back further for her.
Yeah, it's big pressure on her really, because she knows that, you know, she's been picked in front of her tonight, and it's her shirt to keep, and you've got to make sure that you don't make mistakes, but you tend to put them pressure on yourself.
No problems going direct, Sweden. Moving that ball from front to back quickly, and Asllani, such a clever player. So much experience in the Sweden side, but are missing frontline striker tonight. Stenius unavailable. Williamson going on a run and looking towards the referee, wanting that free kick. Sweden certainly not sure.
Yeah, not all referees are going to give that as well. Again, look how many yellow shirts surrounding Williamson when she strides into that midfield area.
Hands for a little too long. Asllani and Williamson, England running the foul. Cricket going down that left-hand side, and Mead starting on that left-hand side at the moment. Lundqvist, one of the 5 changes for Sweden. The fullback. Chip it forward. They don't have that target presence in the front line. It's a free kick to England.
Yeah, neither team really got in the rhythm. As they said, the opening 5 minutes or so of this game, just trying to figure each other out. Referee in the end belatedly just gave that free kick to Lucy Bronze.
So Jyoti, Brighton midfielder, with the challenge, and Lucy Bronze didn't play on Friday. She was one of those who was the threat of suspension, on a yellow card, but those yellow cards are all cleared now. A bit of room outside the box for 2. Couldn't find Stanway. She's found some room already, Ella Toon. The player who's often come up with a big goal for England.
Yeah, on Friday night they found themselves in those positions a few times, England, without letting fly. You know, the likes of Stanway. Now you've got Toon on the pitch. As soon as it opens up, it's worth an effort, particularly this early in the game.
Stanway couldn't retain possession. Jyoti to Angeldal, trying to move it on, but England applying enough pressure to win that ball back. And now Walsh. And Russo is very much settled into being England's #1 striker. A real presence in that forward line, has had a good qualification campaign. Russo putting the pressure on Eriksson. Trailed by Bronze. Walsh, little pass into Stanway. Referee was playing an advantage there as Williamson moves it wide to Hemp, and Carter looking to go on the overlap. And Hemp getting it back. Decent link-up play. The clip ball in towards Russo. Decent start from England. Free kick Sweden.
Yeah, and England looks so much better when they move the ball quickly, 1 and 2 touch. We saw it again, Ireland on Friday, but Hemp gets herself in a good position. Now, can she get in a situation where she can have a shot? It's like that extra pass that's needed, and Sweden are are quite deep, so there's no real space to get into him behind.
All the games kicking off at the same time tonight. Here's qualification. Ireland facing France in Cork. The first game outside of Dublin for the women's team tonight. Goalless after nearly 8 minutes. France have already qualified from this group, thanks to that win over Sweden. And Ireland cannot qualify directly. They are certainly in the playoffs. It goes long again. England haven't had too many problems so far. Runs forward towards Russo. Russo with a nice touch to Toon. And England have got options here. Hemp. And Hemp, taking in her stride, was looking to pull it back. Well, Lauren Hemp, such a big player for England, and maybe could be a little more selfish.
Yeah, that's twice now. She could have been a little bit more selfish, but England certainly exploit the space. It's quite a narrow defensive structure from Sweden, so the space is out wide on the switch, and she's come over to the left-hand side now.
Need across to take the corner. Bright and Williamson forward, and Bronze always a target. Mead wasn't the pass she wanted back, and had to cover across there, Carter. Whereas England may have had a problem. Confident start, and after they lost at home to France, such an impressive performance to go to France and win. Stamp their authority on that match. One of the best first halves under Serena Wiegmann, Saint Etienne.
Yeah, Georgia Stanway talk about it, that sort of been hit and miss in terms of the form, but really got into form after that poor performance at home to France. Got that win away, and then just trying to keep the momentum, getting themselves in, because the game's important, because it changes how they prep over the next. If they go through tonight to the Euros, England, it changes how they prep. They can play better quality teams, but it's so important that they get the result tonight before they even start thinking about that, because the playoffs will be very, very difficult.
It's Bronze. Serena Wiegmann didn't really want to talk about what that might mean until this game was over, but there's no doubt about it. They would prefer to play some prestigious friendlies. Toon, plenty of touches so far for Ella Toon, which is a good sign. Winning that ball back, it was a Sweden throw-in. Walsh. Again, linking things up nicely. Carter. Williamson. He's teasing Yanogi there. Can't get in the game yet.
They're just trying to drag Sweden out a bit in terms of, well, like when they're defending out of possession, they try and close the lines as much as possible, leave the space out wide if they can, but nothing really centrally.
Each other well so far. Just have to wait to say that sort of thing, don't you? Have to have a few more passes play out. I was confident with Kira Walsh there on the ball. Lundqvist. There's that pressure again though from England, and Mead winning it. And Lundqvist concedes the foul. You feel a bit later she would have picked up a yellow card for that sort of situation.
Yeah, I mean, England are using the press really well. I think doing to Sweden what Sweden did to them at Wembley, and giving any time on the ball, particularly in those high areas, committing players forward. It's a risk for England, but the rewards are that you get a chance on goal, or you get a set piece like the one now.
So there's Millie Bryant, Lucy Bronze. Vucevic organising Sweden rear guard to try and keep England out from this free kick. It's Mead and Hemp. Over this one for England. Leaves it for Mead. And Mead, that's a teasing ball in. It's going to drop to Hemp. Working it on as well to Stanway. And stretching the play here. Bronze find a way through. And interesting here, the referee might look at this as a dive.
It's a couple of times now that the referee's seen something, and then as if she's had to replay the event in her head before giving a decision. Lucy Bronze knew she probably wasn't going to come out with a ball, and going down under the challenge, you can understand why the Swedish defenders were asking the question of the referee.
The free kick given. A few Swedish players can't believe it. But a bonus here for England. Had a few free kicks so far. Referee Maria Caputi of Italy. Giving England the free kick here. Hemp and Mead. It will be Hemp to clip it in there. And Russo kept alive. Walsh didn't really catch hold of it. And the flag had gone up in any case.
I think at last year's World Cup, Sweden were the second tallest squad. They certainly have the players in there, but so do England. You should just see Hughes Williamson just ventured into an offside position. That's a clever little flick back, but couldn't make anything of it.
But first 14 minutes, all England. To repeat, they don't have to win this game, England, to qualify Euro 2025.
Serena Wiegmann was saying that we're going to go and play to win. You don't go and play for a draw, which you don't usually. Depends what the game state is towards sort of the last 15 minutes of the game, depending on whether you're winning or you're drawing, what your tactics are, but you certainly go out to get yourselves in front.
Holmes pushing it down the line. Stanway. Really said a Swedish player's name so far. That's how dominant England have been on the ball. Eriksson back to Musovic. They get out here, Sweden. All from Musovic, but the pressure is there again. Carter mopping up.
Yeah, it's just relentless at the moment from an England point of view. Can they make the most of the possession that they've got? Sweden have not really ventured forward that much, not really got it to the forward players. You know, look at Rolfo on that left-hand side, who's an obvious threat, but not really winning those battles because of the press from England, not allowing Sweden to play.
Just offside. The ball was played forward, and then there was this challenge. They're coming together, Angodal and Russo. It's calmly done from Stanway. Williamson forward. Giving it away there, Sweden, but had a lucky break. Angodal. Aslani tackled by Stanway. Strong start this from England. Can they make it count? They might with that pass from Stanway. And then Russo flag's gone up.
Yeah, I think it was Mead who just ventured off, but really quick tempo and intensity that England have started this game, just what they needed. Sweden look a little bit shocked by it. I don't know what they expected.
But they might be in here, Sweden. And England stretched the first decent position. Lundqvist down the line. Tinkarin. It has been very impressive for Sweden in this qualification campaign. Lundqvist, England appealing for offside, but Lundqvist seemed very much on.
The first bit of sustained pressure down that right-hand side.
Just on the line. Conrad getting round Carter. Nice play as well. Chelsea player against Chelsea player. Sembrant mopping up. Too good a team, Sweden, to be dominated for too long. Eriksson, it's a risky pass to play. Trying to get Rolfo into the game.
I haven't really got Inogi into the game. I think Eddie talked about it before the game about Blackstenius, that she's a miss just as that escape ball to play into. Inogi's not really got herself in a position where they can play and offer. More to do with the way that England have started really in their sort of press.
Good start from England away from home. Walsh clipping it forward. This is going to spin into play. It is. Nicely for Stanway, who's got loads of time to play one in towards Russo. How close to turning that one in.
Great movement in the box, Russo. And she's really got into a stride of being the number 9 for this England team. Just gets in front of Linda Sembrand. Couldn't get the connection that she wanted.
Just claiming she was being fouled there, Russo. That'll be a goal kick.
Sembrand's a wily old fox. She's been playing a number of years, so she knows exactly how to deal with a centre forward who gets in front of her. Clever play. Countering. You need her on the ball, higher up the pitch. That's when she's going to create something, getting behind.
She'll be reminded, Carter, of that one, I'm sure. Chelsea training not long after this match. Williamson, cross to Bright. And they're not the only home nation in action tonight. Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales playing in their matches. All of them guaranteed playoff places, but top spot at stake for Scotland and Wales. And Wales are a goal up at home to Kosovo in their particular group. And that scoreline would keep them top of the group. Jess Fishlock with a goal. And I say who else? Stanway. Brings back to Stanway. It's a good sign. England's midfield has seen a lot of the ball so far. Hemp. Dispossessed by Conrad, who is quick, but we know Hemp is as well, looking to work to get back and had to. Wilson trusting that England's forward would get back. So we haven't seen much of the ball, but Conrad already showing she's a threat.
Yeah, she's the option, isn't she, down the right-hand side? Obviously, Rolfer down the left-hand side. Haven't really seen much of it down that left, but certainly she's an option, particularly if Carter goes forward.
Williamson has missed the World Cup for England. Determined to get England back to another tournament.
And the only thing I would say, you know, 20 minutes in dominating proceedings, England, can you get yourself a goal in front? Because at some point Sweden will just wrestle the initiative and momentum will go with them, and it's whether they can finish or not.
Lundqvist. Tricky start so far. Sembrand, mention it, one of the Centurions in this Sweden squad. A relatively settled side over the years, over many tournaments. Caroline Sager retiring recently. Was catch player, male or female, in European football.
They're a little bit nervous, Sweden. You know, they're under pressure in front of the home crowd to get themselves through to a Euros competition next summer, and they look a little bit nervous and look like they're under pressure.
They're definitely working that left-hand side, and it's benefiting them so far. Lundqvist ceding that free kick, and Toon wanted to take it quickly, too quickly for referee Caputi. Saying I wasn't ready. So Bethmead gets another go. Fair number of free kicks in these opening 22 minutes here, England. A decent delivery from this sort of area not that long ago, Bethmead. Can she do it again? And it goes from Mead. So you can deal with the first ball. How about the second if it comes in? Stanway. Bronze. Looking for Stanway. It was a clever ball. And it was awkward for Musovic. Should be an England corner.
Asking the question of the assistant ref on that side, whether Musovic got a touch to it after it had gone over the line, but it's a good little piece of play. Jan Anderson had just kicked the ball at Stanway, had it gone behind.
No touch from Vucevic, I guess, the woodwork. These sort of areas, Sweden struggling under England's pressure. They'll be feeling a little agitated at the moment, Sweden, because they know under all this pressure, ultimately they're the side who are going to have to score more goals than England. Bronze. How quickly football can change. Hampton. And it goes. That ball break to a yellow shirt. Not this time. Some good link-up play so far from Toon and Stanway in that midfield. Hemp. Carter.
It's certainly England's first choice three in midfield, and they look like the movement, the rotations are good. Certainly look comfortable, England, as an away team. They did against France, got the result against France away. There's a lot of pressure when you've got a home crowd who just expect you to go out and win.
So mentioning the other home nations, the fact that Scotland and Wales are in good position to top their groups, and that would be important because it would see promotion from the league they're in this new system. Which, as far as qualification going forward for future tournaments, is very important, as of Ireland, who've been in a very difficult group, of course, but to play better players. Lundqvist with a throw there that didn't seem too convincing. Sweden, link up again. Tim Conrad won't get that ball back. And the risk taken by Mead. Anderson almost nicked it off her. There's Anderson again. Rolfer can't quite get that under control. And I suppose, Lucy, when you don't have the ball for too long, when you do have it, there's that added pressure to do something with it.
Absolutely, and it's not sticking at all. It's not sticking centrally. You know, they're not really getting the ball into her that they normally would do with Blackstenius, but Wolfer's not really seen anywhere near as much as you would expect her to on that left-hand side.
Over the years, Sweden have a far superior record than England in the head-to-head. But their last meeting was at Euro 2022, that 4-0 victory for England at Bramall Lane in the semi-final. There will be an element to that in their memory. Last tournament meeting. Lundqvist running it out. Meeting at Wembley, England did take the lead in that game. Sweden had a second-half equaliser. It was an early goal from Lasse Russo that got England going.
Sweden did well at Wembley in terms of putting Kira Walsh under pressure, just stopping her from getting on the ball and spraying the passes about. Not really got that sort of press going yet tonight.
England dominating the ball. Mead. Stanway will look for the switch towards Hemp. Always been well organised, though, Sweden. Even if they don't have much of the ball, they stay in games. And I mentioned that 4-0. It's such a standout because it's a rare occasion they've been well beaten on the score sheet. Side that knocked the United States out of the last World Cup.
I think they were quite unlucky in the World Cup last year. I think they're one of the better teams. It wouldn't have been a surprise to see them in the final, but they've always been there or thereabouts, a strong nation.
Ross playing it in towards Russo, who almost was able to roll the defender that time. Bright. And that's nicely done from Toon again, who's had a strong start. Couldn't link up their former Manchester United teammate. And now Aslani in a bit of room. Yanogi will make the run forwards. Bright across, but Yanogi, this is where she wants to be. Just to run at the England defence and clip a ball in. Williamson away. Anderson. Strong Chelsea connection in the Sweden squad. And Anderson has spent 4 years with the London club. 4 WSL titles back in the native Sweden. Angeldal. Zinkane trying to link up. That's looked the sharpest of the Swedish players thus far. And Walsh looking for that ball towards Russo. Such an outlet for England in that front line. Hemp. Quick to try and double up on Lauren Hemp at every opportunity. Toon. Stanway. Giving away a lot of free kicks.
Yeah, there's been quite a few cheap free kicks that you probably wouldn't expect the referees giving those, and Stanway knows that. Any sort of touch. Joti then, you see a complaint to the referee as soon as it was given. It just gives England a chance to work a set-piece routine.
A lot of practice in near half an hour. Sweden relatively confident in defending set pieces, so they can't keep giving them away. Mead keep in there, won't reach bronze. Stanway.
Yeah, they've dealt really well with the aerial balls, as you would expect. The two centre-backs are quite happy. All played into the box. England just need to think of the way they work the ball into the box. Russo in behind, the way that they scored the first goal against Ireland on Friday, that sort of thing, just to move the centre-backs about for Sweden.
Serena Wiegman will be very pleased with the first half an hour. Actually, every manager wants their side to score goals, but they've imposed themselves well. Not to tempt fate as they build from the back. Bright to Bronze. Bronze inside to Russo's a smart pass. And Toon. Decent build-up play from England, moving the ball well. Have to. It's this organised Sweden defence. Carter. Must be pleased by the fact they know at some point Sweden will have to give it a proper go. That might actually give England even more space.
Yeah, England look a lot more comfortable when they've got Lucy Bronze, just being a bit more aggressive with her positioning. They struggled with that. Both full-backs were quite safe on Friday night.
Carter back to Hemp. Russo on the move in the middle. He's behind a few England players in the end. But Rolfer back there, that's where England want her to be.
Yeah, Bronze being further up, Seb, just changes the picture for Walsh. When Walsh drops deep and picks up the ball, that always has that angle, always has that pass out wide to Bronze further up the pitch. Just opens the pitch out for England.
Wales 2-0 up against Kosovo now. Henry McAteer with a goal. They're playing the bottom side in the group, who haven't picked up a single point yet. High up the pitch for England. Russo, can she find Carter? Carter strong to hold off one challenge. So far, Sweden have struggled to counter, struggled to get up the pitch, and Lundqvist, they're struggling again. And Hemp can't get round her that time.
Yeah, England are winning the individual duels, and physically that doesn't half make a difference. Disappointed really in Sweden. I expected them to be a little bit better at Wembley, that physically they were good, they pressed England very well, but England have had a great start. The only thing missing is a goal.
Here's Walsh. Stanway. The benefit of this new format where top-class sides facing each other in qualification. Raises your level. Saw that with England when they played France in France. Saw that from France when they played England in England. Here's Stanway. Looking for Mead. Anderson is back there again. They do fill back into shape quickly, Sweden.
Yeah, that's why England need to move the ball quickly. Can they be a bit more direct when they win the ball back? Russo's always a willing runner. When she occupies both centre-backs, she works so hard, but Definitely looks more comfortable in that position than coming in off the left-hand side.
They do look comfortable out of possession as well. England, you see again that pressure being applied. Angeldal passing that ball straight out in the end, almost.
They actually look tired, Sweden. A lot of what they're doing is at walking pace, and they're not really dealing with England physically.
WSL ended a long time ago. There's several Swedish players who play in the WSL, but some that play in Sweden with their season still going on. Anna Hampton. All it goes. Sembrant coming out of the line to try and deal with that. Jackson does deal with it. Vucevic. It's been all they can do so far. Peter Gerardsen will be a little disappointed with how things have gone so far for them. In fact, I'll just be pleased it's 0-0 to an extent.
I definitely think so. They don't look like that, and I'm used to seeing these players for Sweden. They've got legs in midfield, but they look tired tonight. They don't look like they've got that sort of intensity in them.
English just want to create a chance, so they might do here. And the flag goes up. Sembrant had a little tug of the shirt as well.
Yeah, Sembrant's not going to be as quick as Russo, but a couple of little bits in a locker that just enables. Probably just gone, hadn't she? Russo really doesn't need to. She's going to make that diagonal run in behind Sembrant. She probably could hold her run.
Either side, though, has had an attempt on goal. And there is Aslani, inexperienced players who's just signed London City Lionesses in England. Russo. Sembrant, but Russo is there to win it back. Is behind Toon, unlucky there. Lundqvist, Tinkanrit. It's just too much hard work for Sweden just to work their way up the pitch. Here's Toon. And Toon does well to hold off Angeldal. Toon might fancy this, disguise the pass. Can't get that attempt away.
So many times, though, when England players can have a shot at goal and they just want that extra pass. Need to be more selfish, particularly Toon, who can finish. We've seen her, the goals that she scored, the goals that Stanway scores from the outside the box. You know, the thing that made Sweden good at Wembley and getting that result at Wembley was they won the mid-centre midfield battle. They looked absolutely way off it tonight. You know, those Angeldal, Zijotti and Aslani, and they haven't quite got it going tonight.
Sweden often nowadays rotate their goalkeeper. Jennifer Falk, the other option for them, but no test for Vucevic thus far. As far as attempts on goal for England, that deflected effort and almost caught her out. Here's Hemp. Carter, leaving that ball behind. Tinkanrid, one thought in her mind, so direct, but the cover was there from Williamson. Excellent work from the England captain, and it has England on the front foot. Stanway shoots, and that's the first effort from England on goal.
Much better, Stanway. She did have a thought, didn't she? Perhaps she's going to pass it, but let's put Vucevic under a little bit of pressure, see what she's got.
Scored that excellent goal, St Etienne, Georgia Stanway, and the penalty against Ireland. And that's been an interesting contest so far.
Yeah, I think Sweden, you look at positive parts of this game, and there is certainly that down that right-hand side. She looks the one that maybe produced something.
Vucevic, short to Sembrant. There's Lundqvist again. Well, at least he's always confident on the ball, prepared, wants to try and make something happen. Just doesn't want to play it safe. Sembrant does go long. Carter, I feel that's one of Sweden's only hopes so far. He's just playing it direct and hoping for this to win that second ball.
Yeah, they don't really have the outlet. Inogi wants to run in behind, but really they probably needed to get themselves up the pitch by playing into the 9, Sweden. Or playing in between the lines to Aslani, but she's not getting herself free either.
Decent amount of England support here. Ball sent long. Sembran. So Hagodal won't reach it. So Joti, who's barely touched the ball so far. There's the switch across to Hemp. Hemp back to Carter. Carter to swing it in 4 England shirts. Get on the end of that, and Sweden though win that header and get themselves down the pitch with Rolfo, who'll drive forward. It's tough to stop when she gets going, but there's the cover again.
And that's where you can see Sweden having a little bit of joy when England commit players forward to a set piece or to an attack, and then they use the pace of the likes of Rolfo, but Lucy Bronze, great defending there, just nicks it away from her foot.
So one thing missing for England so far is a goal. Toon looking for Hemp. Musovic will see this one out. Everything but trying to have attempts on goal. It's been the one thing lacking for England so far, and what has been an impressive first half otherwise.
Yeah, I think good energy from England. You know, at times 1 and 2 touch passing, moving up the pitch. It's just that in that final third, they just need to be a bit more ruthless. And we said it on Friday against Ireland that they had the opportunities. So Sweden might be making a change.
And that was Evelyn EJ, who made her debut against France. Rolfo, Stanway coming together. She fell there. Rolfo caught Stanway, had been caught herself. And he knows they already suffered some disappointment in the last year, Sweden not qualifying for the Olympics for the first time. Will they miss out on an automatic place at the European Championship? It's the case as it stands, but so much football left to play in this one. Eriksson plays it forward. Millie Bright headed it straight at Aslani, actually. It's given Sweden a platform to get the ball into the penalty area. And in goes the cross. Bright heads it away, but haven't cleared it too far. Lundqvist. Well, that would have been quite the story if she put the ball in the net after this first half has gone.
Yeah, they haven't had that much to do in that penalty area, England, in terms of defensive point of view, but Millie Bright has reached a couple of headers that were so important. She puts enough pressure on Lundqvist. But that's it. It only needs a split second. Even though you're under pressure, you've not had the best of the half to get yourself in front.
That's why we've said it's been impressive from England so far, because they are playing in a nation they've never won in, Sweden. Serena Wiegman reminding her players of that. Impressive, but Sweden score here. England are in a spot of bother. Inogi. Toon has to be careful. Didn't make the challenge in the end, but it would have been tempting. This is probably Sweden's best period of the match. Not to swing that ball in. Oh, Carter was nowhere. And stealing into the back post was Ritten Kaneryd.
Oh, I should have got something on that then. Kaneryd just making the England defence really uncomfortable. Not sure Carter knew where Kaneryd was there. Just drifted in at the far post and really not far away. It's a big opportunity really for Sweden. Just misjudged it. And it's no surprise that she probably gets their biggest chance of the half. Probably been Sweden's best player.
Without doubt. Angeldal, very accomplished midfielder, recently left the WSL to join Real Madrid. Was at Manchester City. Lundqvist. Getting under pressure from Hemp. Had an eventful first half. Sembrand again there to just clear it forward, and Rothenburg, that's brilliantly done to open things up for Sweden. We're having a stronger finish to this half. All on the back foot. One for drifting inside. Kudjotti. Angeldal. Rolfa. Shot blocked by Bright. Anderson. Rolfa to hang it in there. Carter heads it away. And there's that relieving whistle for England.
So when they're a bit more direct and they play longer past England's press, Sweden, they've got a bit of joy, but they've only worked that out in the last sort of 5 or 10 minutes of the half, because England the forward players tend to cheat a little bit out of possession because they're waiting for when England win it back. You know, they're pressing quite high but not recovering. It just gives Sweden that bit of space and a little bit of encouragement that they've had the last few minutes.
In their 2 previous home matches in this European qualification phase, they were beaten by France and narrowly beat Republic of Ireland. And Bright clearing that ball away does earn England the throw.
Yeah, England have been comfortable for the majority of this first half, but then Sweden put a bit of pressure on, playing in the right areas, getting the ball up the pitch, and all of a sudden England look uncomfortable.
Had 70% of the possession, England. Sweden had 2 attempts on goal to England's 1. Angeldal is getting on the ball a lot more now. Tinkanrid. The threat of the half for Sweden. Lundqvist. And Hemp was back there having to do the defensive work. So it's not an outlet for the counter, and then England losing it. Russo losing it. Angeldal. Carter across, and I think England wouldn't mind half-time all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's amazing how momentum can swing very, very quickly in games, particularly when you've got a team with the quality that never really shown it in the opening 35 minutes of this half, but certainly gotten themselves right in the game now.
No time to be added on. Half-time, England the stronger side for much of the half without threatening Musevic's goal too much. Sweden growing as the half drew to a close. A scoreline that still suits England. Half-time, Sweden 0, England 0.
Okay, we're at half-time over in Gothenburg, and let's have a little look at how the table is affected by both of these games. 0-0 between Sweden and England. Also 0-0 in the other game of the group, Republic of Ireland, who are already heading to the playoffs against France, who were already qualified. Importantly, though, if the score stays the same in England's game, it's good for England. It means that they will qualify automatically. Sweden have to go for the win, and so far, there's not been a lot of quality in this game on either side. Eddie, what have you made of it?
Yeah, I think England have controlled the game. You know, 68% possession. They've looked in control, but it's not been really the cutting edge that we've seen from England. I think England needs to capitalise on the fact Sweden look quite tired. Yeah. I think they put a lot of energy into the game against France on Friday, and I think there's moments for England, I think Karen's going to go through it, where counter-attacking moments, can we be quicker? Can we capitalise on the fact that Sweden look a little bit sluggish?
Karen? I'm just laughing at you. We spent too much time at the Euros, haven't we? No, I couldn't agree any more with any. I think the biggest thing is no shots on target. So we've dominated, and we just need to be more clinical. And like Kenny said, we've got some real good clips to show that now, where we're getting down the wide areas, we're stopping counter-attacks as well. So these are the opportunities. And to be fair to Sweden, they've been really good at blocking people like Lauren Hemp, and actually Hempo hasn't really got any options there, but they're really nullifying us down the wide areas. Georgia Stanway's going into these positions as well because there's gaps there, but again it's just about how can we utilise when we get in there, and what's the quality. I mean, that's a really great ball. You're thinking, yes, Alessia, you've been on really good form, Russo, and just unlucky there again. But like I said, I've been really impressed with it. This one, can it go straight out to Hemp the other way, and we go back in, and then Sweden's strength is they get bodies behind the ball. There's 8 already there, and then all of a sudden we're kind of in a bit of a cul-de-sac. And yes, we've kept the ball, but I think at times, I mean, Leah's been brilliant and Millie. Every time that they try and get on the attack, we've stopped it, and we're just a little bit slow to just punch it in and make sure they don't get bodies behind any.
But I think in that clip there, it's also recognising where the 1v1 is, right? Can you go the other side? Here, Lauren Hemp here, you know, she's 2 against 1. Can we get it out? Can we switch it up? Just be a little bit smarter, because Sweden, as you said, they're very good at recovering into the block. So you've got to capitalise when they're out of shape. I think there's moments that England can do that. As I said, Sweden have not really created much. They look sluggish, they look tired. They're going to have to come out. They've got to win this game, Sweden, so they're going to have to come out. Can England capitalise on those moments where Sweden go out and we counter-attack?
I think that exactly what Georgia Stanway did there. When you're up against teams that sit in, like, a lot of numbers, 8 behind the ball, those long-range shots are the one. I mean, we've just been to men's Euros and seen how many goals outside the box. So I'd say that Georgia Stanway did the right thing, take the shot.
Yeah. Let's have a look at Sweden's chances, because they did grow into the half eventually, and they created some half chances, any?
Yeah, half chances, but nothing I think that, you know, have really threatened England. This is a good chance towards the back end of the first half. Jess Carter, I think, does well there just to distract Canada, doesn't quite get the contact. But I think Jess Carter covers it well. That's really the only thing that Sweden have created so far.
Annie was saying they look sluggish. Were you surprised at that? Because, like we say, they've got to go out and win this game if they want to automatically qualify.
To be fair to both teams, though, they've had, apart from the previous game, they've had a month off. You know, their season ended, was it May? So this is not an ideal fixture for Sweden, but it's a must-win game. So we expect them to come out and really go at it. But for England, I think defensively look pretty good, and long may it keeps that way. We go through to the Euros.
Yeah, if you're Serena now at half-time, knowing that a point is enough to see you through automatically, what's the word to the team?
Continue. Consistency, keep the ball, a lot of possession. I think England are best when they have control, keep playing it through Kira Walsh, but then when you get the moments to attack, can they do that? You know, Lauren Hemp was brilliant on Friday against the Republic of Ireland. Can she be a little bit brighter? Alessia Russo, I think we'll get our chance. But so far, you know, we're through.
Just keep a clean sheet, Laura. Of course, I want us to win the game. That should be our mentality. But if we keep a clean sheet, we're through to the Euro finals next summer.
Absolutely. OK, second half is coming up very shortly. Don't go anywhere. We've got that in a few moments' time. So far in this game, England are doing enough. They've just got to stay as they are, take a point from this game, qualify automatically, no shots on target from either side. A goal would be nice, though, wouldn't it? An England goal in particular. OK, second half is going to kick off very, very soon. That Swedish crowd, they're really expectant because they want a win for their side today to automatically qualify. So far, no shots on target for either side. Looking for a bit of a spark in this game, a bit of quality from either side. One change that we know Sweden decided to make, Yonagi's coming off and Ija is coming on. Do they need something, a different bit of impetus in this game, Annie?
I think so. They've got to go for it, Sweden. You know, this is the difference between qualification for the Euros. You look at someone like Jacobson on the bench, fast-paced winger, again, can create a moment out of something. So it'll be interesting to see how they go for it in the second half.
Sweden's league is mid-season at the moment. Are you surprised they're not a bit sharper?
Yeah, especially as I was speaking about, the England players are probably... Well, they're out of season, aren't they? Little game time. So you'd expect with Sweden to be a lot much sharper, fitter, but a lot of their players also play in Europe, Laura. So, you know, but it doesn't matter about fitness and sharpness. This is a game now about mentality because Sweden need to win and England need to keep that clean sheet, and we find ourselves in the final.
Serena, you guys were saying that do exactly what you did in the first half, carry on as you would. Any chance for any rotation, you think, around 60, or what do you reckon?
I think so. I think somebody like Jess Park, who had a brilliant game on Friday against Ireland, I think she could come into the game. Jess Park, actually, you know, she had moments on Friday where she could have scored, could have shot. I think she looked really lively. Can she come into the game if England haven't found a goal or, you know, created any chances? You know, we've always got that firepower on the bench to come and affect the game.
Yeah, there's that change we were just telling you about. Let's get over to the commentary team for the second half. Lucy Ward and Seb Hutchinson.
Well, Madeline Yonogi has gone off and Evelyn EJ has come on. A young player who made her debut against France on Friday, and then her second cap is against England. Her father, Peter, was a Nigeria international for 20 years ago during his time in Sweden. Farige up front now for Sweden, who know they need a goal after England. More dominant side in the first half without too many chances to show for it. And that means things are still a bit nervy.
Yeah, I understand why Sweden have made the change. I think that Williamson and Bright played really well for England, but they weren't really put under pressure by Yonogi.
And Toon saw a lot more of the ball in the first half than she usually does for England. Usually the player to pop up. Now the ball didn't go out of play there, and Sweden can't believe it. Can England take advantage of the shout? And then the decision is made eventually.
It's a pretty obvious decision. It looked like it had gone over. Yeah, well over. I don't know whether the referee and the assistant referee had that communication, but Hemp's just going to keep going until told not to.
The thing is, even in those sort of situations, you can never be 100% sure. It's the whole ball, in the whole line, those angles don't help determining that. Russo, nice layoff to Mead. And Mead will look for Stanway, too much on the pass. Anderson. Perhaps the toughest thing in football, that final pass, that final shot to get the ball into the net. They've done everything else very well so far. And Mead, the pull back, and Toon almost wriggled round the challenge of Agodal. Carter holds off that challenge. Walsh. Now Mead. The Walsh going to move the ball quickly. Mead. Toon floating around. Stanway keeping the move going. Toon. Mead. Mijay does well. They can't quite get going against Sweden. And instead, Hemp will get there first and hook it back in towards Russo. Sembrat with a foot in. Agodal. Tinkanrid. Taslani hasn't really been able to get in the game so far.
England had a lot of possession on the edge of the area, but the whole point of 1 and 2 touch is to move the defenders around so that you can create space, and that wasn't really happening. It was easy for Sweden, all in front of Sweden. Has to have that movement beyond.
Williamson. Godal picking up the pieces for Sweden. Lundqvist down the line. Tinkanrid so positive. That challenge of Tinkanrid is principally why Carter is in the team for England.
That's the right idea from Russo. Holds the ball up, spins and just tries to release on that right-hand side. Methmead wasn't really in that position.
Vucevic can't find a yellow shirt, but it does drop to Lundqvist. And Lundqvist, decent run. Zani inside, Lundqvist. Carter steps across, clean challenge from the England defender. Russo. Excellent. Hold up play again from Alessia Russo. Toon. And Toon. Russo on the move. Here's the challenge from Agodal.
The switch is always on for England if they can see it, because they're so narrow, Sweden.
England might be in trouble here. Ball played forward to Aslani. Walsh having to do the defending. And fortunately for England, that Walsh had spotted the danger.
Yeah, clever recovery. Kira Walsh just knowing that she has to keep her eye on Aslani. Because England didn't make the most of the possession they had, it just means that Sweden get away on the break with Aslani, but well covered by Walsh.
But a corner for Sweden, their first of the game, and a strength of their game. Anderson with that in-swinger. A real threat in there, Eriksson as well. Anderson with the corner, to the back post it goes. England got the first header to the ball, but they're struggling here. Angeldal! And Hampton keeps Sweden out, and a free kick for England.
Yeah, the last few games we've seen England struggle at set pieces, conceding goals against France, against Ireland on Friday. It's about putting bodies in the way. She brought the ball down really well. Hampton saw that so late. You see Millie Bright just move a body out of the way, trying to get a head on it. Hampton, it's a great save.
Well, they were convinced. First attempt on target for either side in the match. Eriksson will look for Anderson. It's just going to run out of play eventually.
Terrific from Hampton though, Seb, because like you say, first shot on target, which means that she hasn't really had that much to do. She's had the ball at her feet a lot in the first half, but in terms of producing a save, getting concentration from her.
Right towards Russo, Eriksson stepping across. And Walsh to Hampton. Not sure Hampton was quite ready for that. Walsh. Bronze. And Mead down the line. Stanway. Both those advanced midfielders for England have made those breaks. And another free kick for England.
There's been some really soft free kicks in this game, not just for England, both ways. When a player goes down doesn't necessarily mean it's a foul, but again, another opportunity for England. Set piece. And it's how clever they are, they're working the ball into the box. Can you get the first contact? Because Sweden have got the height in there.
It's been Mead and Hemp who've been the options to take every set piece so far. It's Mead to send it in. This is better towards the back post and straight at Musovic. The header from Bronze.
She tried to get as much power on it as possible then. Lucy Bronze, it's a good free kick. She comes and running in at the far post, and it's, you go for goal. Can you get enough power to go for goal? Is the angle too tight? But great free kick. She goes straight for goal, and it's difficult, isn't it, to score from there? And maybe a cross, but getting on the end of it, it's good set piece routine.
So often the target, Lucy Bronze.
Yeah, she sort of drifts in, goes in, doesn't she, at the far post, and just gets something firm on it.
Russo booked in the aftermath of that. It's put straight out of play there by Williamson. And I think there's going to be the scoreboard pressure as well to England. However well they've played, they know that one Sweden goal and everything changes. Angeldal moving it on. Rothenburg is quick. And quicker than Carter. Cross comes in, Bright away. Williamson. Look towards Russo. Can't do anything with that though. Sweden already better in this second half. Rolfo. Angeldal. Zlani. Able to turn. Tinkarid sends it in. Header from Williamson away. Touch from Stanway. Very calmly done.
Yeah, Williamson's done really well, but there's a ball at her feet or in the air. She's been equal to every single challenge so far.
Look at this from Russo. Needs support now. Exceptional forward play from Alessia Russo. Stanway. Mead to her right. Here is Beth Mead to pull it back. Stanway. And the shot does come eventually.
Just that split second pause there from Stanway, just allowing her that bit of space. Just trying to get it in. It's not far away. Good play down the right hand side. Beth Mead, angle too tight for her to have a shot. That's what England need. They need the likes of Stanway. Can they get themselves on the ball? Shot on the edge of the area. You just take a few more risks, put the ball at risk in those sort of areas, be a bit more clinical.
Williamson going for that. Aslani did enough. Carter forward. So Jotty. Straight to Bronze. Bronze. Mead. Stanway. Plays it in. Carter again couldn't win the first moment with Rothenburg, but that's decent work from Carter. Referee playing at advantage. Williamson clips it forward for the run of Toon. Sweden will see this one out of play.
Yeah, the way that England get into the box and in front of goal is going to have a little bit more thought about it. When they just swing the ball in and it's just easy for the likes of Eriksson and Sembrant to just head it clear or clear it. Everything's in front. Can they move the ball a bit quicker? Runs in behind, runs beyond.
She's looked lively this game. The more they get the ball to her, Sweden, the more things look like they're going to happen. Jay goes up. Into it by Stanway. Bronze. Bronze. It's the free kick. Then EJ, originally signed on a permanent deal with AC Milan, but playing for a brief period in Mexico for Tigres.
Yeah, big boots to fill. Blackstenius is a big miss for this Swedish team in terms of the way that they're constructed, how they play, how they get up the pitch. Certainly missing her tonight. And that's no disrespect to the two players that have played in that 9 spot. Difficult boots to fill.
Yeah, mentioned no Blackstenius, no Nina Hurtig either. Always through the years had that strong target forward. Musovic yet to be tested by England in this match.
I think they'll be thinking at some point Sweden have to go for it. Sweden have to put the ball at risk more, commit players forward more, and that is probably the time that England have to stay firm at the back, but also will have that space to exploit.
And to Sweden's credit, though England had a lot of the ball and won the ball out the pitch as well, they've got themselves back into shape, have been relatively organised enough to restrict England having those attempts on goal as well. And Hemp. They'll get there cleanly. Lundqvist. Now Angeldal. And Rolfer going down rather easily. Referee not interested. It's a little tug of the shirt from Bright, but not enough to see Rolfer fall to the ground like that. And Russo moves it wide to Mead. England committed a fair number forward here. Toon. Been in this sort of position a lot in the match, England. That pass from Mead.
Yeah, they drop deep to deny space in behind Sweden, so they try and make England as predictable as possible, and they're just playing into Sweden's hands.
And Sweden playing it back to England. Aslani couldn't release Rothenburg. Crowd urging them to get that ball wide to the Chelsea winger. Russo. From Jotty. Rolfer. And they've got numbers here, but important challenge from Millie Bright. It's a little bit too open for England there, but they can go forward now. And Stanway to Mead. This is what Sweden have done well, though. Numbers behind the ball again. Walsh. Carter. Carter will keep going, but won't get to that pass.
Yeah, Rolfer's just gone in a little bit narrow, and it's sort of formed like a box in the midfield for Sweden. It just made it a little bit more difficult for England through those central areas.
There's Hannah Benison, the 20 on the front of her shirt, who was at Everton, has just moved to Juventus, with the young talents in the Sweden team. And Rosa Kafaji. Recently turned 21. I wonder if Sweden will turn to two of their young talents. A bit more energy. The side maybe slightly lacking in energy. Williamson did just keep that ball in play. Rolfer. Ritting countering. Lundqvist. Asllani down the line. Williamson across. Well, not to let Asllani turn. She was convinced it was a goal kick, Williamson. It will be. In the end, Sweden are disappointed.
Yeah, she held a nerve there, Williamson. It's difficult to see who got the last touch, but assistant referee close enough. Asllani obviously thought it was Williamson, otherwise no way we should let it go. She dealt well with her again, Williamson. Right back into her stride now after her injury, Leah Williamson.
I always think those sort of situations are a nightmare for the assistant referee. Pumping it forward. Time to hint. They are going to make that double change very shortly, Sweden. So the two players waiting to come on. Hadji and Benison. It's a loose pass from Toon. Stanway should get there.
Yeah, both sets of players are looking a little bit leggy and tired at the moment. England need to just stand firm.
Toon looking back for Hemp. Wasn't quite enough on the pass. And Lundqvist is always prepared to take a chance playing out from defence. Angeldal. Angeldal goes long to EJ, but that's not going to stay in play. And Asllani is one of those to make way shortly for Sweden. No, they have to try something at some point. A reminder again, Sweden have to win to qualify directly. Here comes Kafaji and Benison. Ziljotti goes off. Anna Benison, who actually came to the WSL with great fanfare. Asllani, so experience removed for youth. There's a Kafaji who really impressed at Wembley when she came on and helped set up the goal. The equaliser for Rolfer.
It's such a tight game at the moment, as far as Sweden are concerned. Just a bit more energy. Burst in behind the defenders, something, you just need something.
Stanley can't retain the ball. Kafaji already making an impact. We're going to reach the point. There's been so many free kicks in this game. Well, we might start to see a flurry of yellow cards. Northern Ireland and Scotland both winning in their respective groups. Already both are short of a place, but Scotland, by leading Serbia, are a guaranteed top spot in their group, which will see them promoted back to League A. They were in League A last year in the same group as England, the group with the Netherlands and Belgium. Group in which England missed out on the chance to qualify Team GB for the Olympic Games by basically one goal in the goal difference with the Netherlands. Incredible stuff.
You think that Wiegman may make a change soon, Seb? Just fresh legs, similar to what Sweden have done.
And England might find a way through here. Hemp. Mead is free at the back post. Will it reach Beth Mead? It does. Bronze. Is the referee going to stop play here with a player down? And she held on there, referee. That would have been very interesting indeed.
Yeah, initially it looked like a head injury. You expect the referee to blow up straight away. A searching ball into the area. Yeah, it's really interesting if Lucy Bronze had put that into the back of the net, what the referee would have done.
Just checking on Anderson there. England just love to find a goal here to calm the tension. Hemp to send it in. Good one to defend. Toon, the first time ball. Caught Sweden now. Williamson. This is promising. But collected by Musovic.
Yeah, it's better by England because they didn't just throw it in. It looked at different angles to try and get the flick on at the near post. Nearly got something.
That's another loose pass. Sweden have been guilty of that a fair few times, and Lauren Hemp can go forward and play it in. That's kept alive. Again, the referee playing advantage. I think England would have preferred the free kick there. They'll take that one. And Two's making that point.
Sweden keep giving England an opportunity. Giving free kicks away in really dangerous areas that England haven't quite taken advantage of yet.
I think England much would have preferred that position. At least have a chance to have a shot on goal. Williamson and Bright. Forward for this. Always look out for Lucy Bronze as well. Midway through the second half, still goalless in Gothenburg. Mead, in it goes. Sweden are able to clear. So many free kicks in this game, England.
Yeah, straight to Lucy Bronze again. Just try to guide her head into the bodies.
Still goalless, incidentally, between Ireland and France. Finally scoring their first goal of the qualification campaign. And that late one against England on Friday at Carrow Road. Russo. Holding up. Venison. So decent ball into Kafaji. Angeldal. She caught Mead late there. Just got away from her. And it's a painful one for Beth Mead.
Yeah, neither team really got into any sort of rhythm in this second half. So the longer it goes on, the more nervy it's going to be for both. It's a sore one for Mead. England just need to keep it tight. I think that Jess Carter at left back, she's staying intact. She's just allowing Lucy Bronze to get up the pitch when she needs to, but they're not going to take that many risks at the back, I'm sure, England.
Godal just didn't see Mead coming. So Millie Bright pumps it forward towards Mead. Bronze with a header. This run from Anderson. Dinkanrid on the left for once. Dinkanrid looking for Kafaji. Oh, it was a desperate lunge from Williamson. England very fortunate that Kafaji didn't go down.
I'll tell you what, she should have gone down. Kafaji, she would have got a penalty, I'm sure. Great play. Just adding that burst of energy. Kafaji, you can see her making that run beyond, pointing exactly where she wants it to go. Great little touch there, and that if she'd have gone, and that's the thing, that's why players go down, because if she'd have gone down there, it would have been a penalty. Luckily for England, she didn't. She stayed honest, stayed on her feet, thinking that she could get the ball across.
Benison with a corner for Sweden, who still need a goal. Benison sends it in, a tester, Hampton who missed it, and England clear it away. Two fortunate breaks for the Lionesses there.
Wow, that's in miles there. Hampton thinks it, and I think it was Millie Bright that got in away, wasn't it?
Pressure from Sweden. Kafaji. The better players technically in this Sweden squad, and Williamson heads it away. Kafaji made that impact at Wembley, and she's doing it again.
Absolutely. He's trying to show the manager why she should be starting games like this. A great few minutes since she's come on.
Yeah, Sweden's biggest club at the moment, Häcken. So many of the squad are, most of those on the bench. EJ struggled to get in the game though so far. And I paused to say that there's been a huge score that's come through from the other game in this group. Ireland in front, Denise O'Sullivan with a goal for the Irish. If they were to beat France, that would be one of the biggest results in their history, if not the biggest. That's the situation at the moment. France still top the group as it stands, but if England were to score, they would go to the summit, and they have a free kick here. Lauren Hemp.
I mean, Hemp is just so positive. The way she receives the ball and that first touch out of it, it's so difficult to defend against at low centre of gravity. You have to do that to bring her down.
Northern Ireland 2-0 up against Bosnia Herzegovina, who's not just second in their group, a group that Portugal have already won. Here's Angeldal for Sweden, and England stretched here. Plenty of yellow shirts forward, Bright. They've got something on that to just halt the momentum. Anderson, Benison, substitutes already making a difference for Sweden.
Yeah, I'm surprised that England haven't made any substitutes, and just some tired legs, and Sweden certainly on top now, just overrunning them at the back at times.
Chloe Kelly called from the bench. That'll be the Sweden free kick. You feel that moment, that's when the managers look to act. Certainly swinging Sweden's way.
You know, rare mistake earlier from Williamson that just encouraged the attack from Sweden. She's been immaculate other than that.
Angeldal. Angeldal, she found the right angle with that ball in. Hampton drops it. It's still alive, Sembrant. The centre half almost turning on a sixpence. Sweden are sure they've won a corner here. More nervy moments.
Yeah, it's an aggressive starting position from Hampton, which means that when you go, you've got to get hold of it and keep hold of it. But again, just leans on Millie Bright and just affects the getting hold of the ball, and a little bit of panic.
Is there the defender and goalkeeper too close for comfort? They're enjoying themselves so far, but they'll be enjoying themselves even more if Sweden score from this corner. Anderson to take, to put more pressure on Hannah Hampton. Anderson to send it in. Williamson heads it away. Important header. As far as Benison. Jim Carnrid. It's not the best ball. We'll be glad to see that out.
Yeah, let England off the hook there. Sweden just built up prolonged pressure. We're not seeing that much of them building up periods of that in the game, but they certainly have in the second half. Substitutes have made a difference.
Well, Chloe Kelly, so often turned to from the bench. It's Beth Mead. Come off. Another player who missed the World Cup last year. Was the player of the Euros. Coming up to 2 years ago. Chloe Kelly with a winning goal at the Euros. Coming up to 2 years ago. There'll be some nervous England fans. Of course, don't have to score as it stands. Doesn't make it feel any easier.
It probably makes it even more nerve-wracking. Sweden will just keep piling on the pressure, especially the last 5 or 10 minutes. They've got absolutely nothing to lose.
Ireland still leading against the France side, of course, who know they've already qualified. Changed pretty much their whole team for that one, incidentally. Really using the squad. Still impressive for Ireland as it stands. Because even France's second string would be on paper stronger than Ireland's.
Well, the space just opens up as soon as they pass the ball quickly. England, a great turn from Toon there.
Goes across. Down the line from Bronze. record attendance tonight for Sweden, Women's International in Sweden, in this stadium in Gothenburg. For a big game, for a side that so regularly is at international tournaments but has missed out on the Olympics. At the moment, will be playing at least one playoff. And they'll change that situation if they were to score here. Tinkarid against Carter again. Plays it in and into the arms of Hampton, who does get there the second attempt. Williamson not happy.
Tinkarid has been the thorn in the side of England all the way through the game, on that right-hand side. Jess Carter just trying to keep up with it. Clever play, just separates herself from the defender, gets the ball, she gets something on it. Hampton just cannot keep hold of it. I think Hampton stayed on the floor. It just gives England a bit of respite.
She just got a little kick there. She went to head the ball that maybe has winded her.
Yeah, I think she just recognises that it would just douse Sweden in a bit of cool water, stop that momentum, stay down. Serena Wiegman can get her players together and just make it about the last, probably 15 minutes or so, won't it? Getting a little bit nervy though, for England fans like it.
Well, live football on ITV1, the 10th of August. Yes, the season, domestic season starting again. The Manchester clubs in action. FA Cup winners Manchester United, Premier League winners Manchester City. It comes around so quickly after a major tournament. The Lionesses hoping to qualify for another major tournament. And the two they've had under Serena Wiegman, they've reached the final of both. Will of course be the minimum expectation. They knocked France out of the Euros, the last Euros, then knocked Spain out of the Euros, the last Euros, and then lost to Spain in the World Cup final. Ball played forward. Republic of Ireland are now 2-0 up, and Julianne Russell, who scored the goal against England on Friday, has got another one tonight. What a scoreline that is. Makes the table look a whole lot better for Ireland, who had lost every game so far, and just the one goal. Of course, every point, every goal important for rankings and seedings when it comes to playoffs. Here's Musovic. Sweden still in need of a goal. Kafaji, clever ball down the line and wants that ball back. Tinkarid, Agodal, back looking for Kafaji. Linking up so much better now, Sweden.
Yeah, Kafaji just offering that movement. She gives the ball wide and then she'll make the run beyond and just causes problems for defenders. It's what England haven't done, those sort of bursting runs in behind from midfield. You can see the problems it's causing the English defence.
Kafaji getting on the ball a lot so far. Again, looking to get close to Tinkarid, who's surging forward. Does she fancy a shot here? Just a check back onto her right. Agodal sends that ball into the back post and Hampton will leave it.
Yeah, just not quite had the quality in front of goal. Sweden much better this second half. The changes have also made a difference, but I think neither team have really had a cutting edge in front of goal, to put it mildly.
Know who she was aiming for there. Rolfer at the back post. But P.T. Gerhardsen will be so much happier with the last 10 minutes, but still needs that goal. England, probably their most prolonged, difficult spell in this match. You can see some frustration on the England faces.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter at this stage now how England play, as long as they don't concede in the last 10 minutes or so. Who knows, the team are reaching desperation levels in terms of getting that automatic qualification. It's certainly going to be a nervy last bit.
Not Kelly on the ball yet, England. Stanway does find Bronze, but Bronze can't take it in her stride. And space for Anderson. And EJ wanted that ball played first time, and Kafaji trying to get round Millie Bright. Kafaji, see they're calling for the ball, wants it again. Benison. Rolfa. Different team at the moment, Sweden, to the first half. Basically, since the two young substitutes have come on.
Yeah, just added the energy. England are starting to lack in energy, and Sweden have grabbed that, and Kafaji, you can bet a bit of money that she'll start the next game that Sweden play.
Will that next game be a playoff match or a friendly? Benison with a corner for Sweden into the last 10 minutes. Benison sends it in. Hampton got one hand to it. England haven't cleared it successfully yet. Rolfer with a shot blocked. Tinkanri to aim it back in there again. Stanway away. Benison. Williamson clears. Back in again from Anderson. Rolfer won't reach that. It's Carter across on the right-hand side.
Yeah, a really full tilt now. England defending this.
Felt this stage of the game would come at some point. Benison moving it on. Angeldal. Lundqvist. Walsh is back there. Haven't seen much of the ball. England really in the last 10 minutes, if Phil. Kafaji. Carter. There's a cross on that right-hand side at the moment. Kafaji. Anderson. Hurry clearance from Hemp.
Now, will England make any more changes? I'm just thinking about, I mean, I know she doesn't want to probably tip the balance and unsettle the team, but they just need some legs.
Angeldal, it's a tester. And Hampton scrambling. England clear, free kick. Bronze hurt, but England nearly hurt on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it was a good effort, but I didn't think that it wouldn't be difficult for Hampton. My initial thought when Angeldal let fly, but I suppose it might have moved at the end, just dipped, didn't it? It looked like she lost it, Hampton. And it doesn't matter how you save them, as long as you keep a clean sheet. She did well in the end. Completely outfoxed by the shot.
In a match of few efforts on goal, that one almost catching out Hannah Hampton, who's been far busier. And a yellow card for EJ. And following up that shot. Carter is back at left back again. I think England were stuck really. They were defending a corner, and it took ages for them to be able to reorganise again at the back.
Yeah, England are not going to rush anything for the remaining minutes of this game. It doesn't really matter how they qualify in this game, but as long as they do, it can look as ugly as anything as far as the England fans and the England players and staff are concerned.
So at this point of the game, when you say we're not coming here to play for a draw, I assure you England will be playing for a draw if we're into the last few minutes. Risk-taking. Won't be there. Stanway, though. If England were to score, it would be huge. And ambitious from Kelly, all that way out. I suppose players at this point of the game, they'll know what the situation is. England will know that they don't want to be too stretched when they're going forward. That will cross their mind.
Absolutely. That has to end up in the back of the net or out for a goal kick when you have a shot. You don't want to give the opposition any sort of encouragement.
Angeldal. Williamson. Russo will chase this. Tried to drive through the gap, but Lundqvist loses the ball. Not for the first time in this match. Kelly. Toon. Maybe a bit of keep ball here from England. But while they have it, Sweden can't score.
Yeah, it's about managing the game now. England, they did well down that left-hand side.
Ball from Bronze, right on the money to Hemp. Stanway digs that out, and Musovic watchful. 5 minutes of the 90 remaining.
Yeah, just ate into a bit of time there, England, just by keeping it on the left-hand side. Bringing it across to the right and then ending with a shot, just taking a little bit of fizz out of Sweden.
A reminder again of the situation. This scoreline would send England to the Euros. Sweden have to win this game to deny England the automatic place. That's offside. Against Russo initially. Sweden are going to return to their bench again. Needs must. Has made such a difference. Musovic forward, EJ helping it on. All pumped, all again. Bright got there first. Carter's header. Spirits of Jakobsen about to come on for Sweden, as well as Hannah Glass. But Angeldal, and England will hope that goes behind for a goal kick, and that's the case.
Yeah, did well there. Stanway. I think anything goes at the moment, as long as you just keep the ball out of the back of your net for England. Sweden will start to get desperate.
You have to say, you felt the game was going to go this way. In fact, it's not Hannah Glass coming on, it's Leslie Björn. On a side for Chelsea from Everton. Was injured in a reverse meeting. Sophia Jakobsen, another of the squad Centurions. Jakobsen coming on here for cap 156. Yeah, and just the 65 caps.
And there hasn't been the best spectacle of an England performance, but I think needs must. Nobody will remember this performance if they get through and they automatically qualify for the Euros next summer, but still a little bit of work to do the last few minutes for England.
We know watching England is never easy. So much more to celebrate than not in recent years. That'll be an England throw. And we just wonder in this sort of situation if Chloe Kelly gets the ball in the corner. Are going to make one more change, at the very least here, England. You'd think it would be maybe a midfield one. Serena Wigman might turn to Grace Clinton, perhaps. That is Niamh Charles come into that defence. And Lauren Hemp comes off, so that straight away in the 90th minute states how England are going to try and see this one out, be organised at the back. Another defensive head in there.
I'm just getting a helping hand off the pitch.
Niamh Charles missed the last previous set of games through injury. Came off the bench against Ireland. At the moment, it's actually in a more advanced area. Benison. To see how much time is going to be added on here. And we'll hope it's a low number. There it is, 4 minutes more for England to see out, and they are very much in see out mode.
Yeah, Millie Brighton, Leah Williamson in particular have defended, headed it, kicked it, just trying to keep it out of reach of Sweden and doing what is necessary in this situation. But can England get the ball at the other end and just play in those sort of areas, make it a little bit less nervy for the England fans watching?
If England could find a goal here, instead the free kick goes the other way. Kelly can't believe it, and she'll dribble that ball away. Surely a yellow card coming for Chloe Kelly, or just a talking to.
Yeah, it's funny when it's your team, but it isn't. If it isn't,
all England will have to do is get that ball to Kelly in the corner, and she'll hold it there for 3 minutes. Some boos from the home crowd. It's desperate measures for Sweden. Musovic forward. Kafaci. EJ moving it on. Is the opening here? Kafaci. And Bronze gets there.
yeah, brilliant by Bronze. Shown all her experience, tracking back, just making sure she gets her body in the way.
Anderson. And there's one place that ball was going, right down the other end of the pitch. England are going to bring Fran Kirby on to try and see out these last few seconds as well. France had pulled a goal back, incidentally, in Cork, but Ireland have added a third. They look set to win for the first time in this group. What a big win that would be for Irish football.
Ah, brilliant for Ireland.
Anna Patton with the goal.
Learned so much in this campaign.
Carter. Northern Ireland looks set to beat Bosnia. They're 2-0 up into added time. Wales into added time against Kosovo. 2-0 up as well. They look set to top their group. Scotland not that far away from topping their group. And Fran Kirby, an experienced head for England to come on. Toon being rushed off the pitch by Eriksson. Frustrating for Sweden. England almost there. Fran Kirby moved to Brighton recently after the long time at Chelsea, was ill for the game on Friday. Ella Toon had some bright moments, but there's been a second half in which England have very much looked to see this out and maybe win it here. The ball across, you wonder why they didn't go for the corner there, England. Chance for Sweden to pump it forward. They are running out of time. Bright, strong against EJ. Carter has to go down the line. Russo knows she's offside. Kirby. Smart from Russo. That will be an England throw. Minute to go.
Yeah, that extra running from Kirby makes a difference. And she's quite prepared to sprint and get the ball in the corner, and under absolutely no rush now, England.
Yes. That's Chloe Kelly. Did it so well against Germany at Wembley in the Euros final. And looking to keep it in that corner to make sure England are back at the Euros. Kelly. We played the 4 minutes. It's at the wrong end for Sweden. Kelly to Kirby. In the corner. Sweden have to get it forward. Kafaci. One last ball forward. Bronze chasing that back. Doesn't get there. And Sweden may get their chance. We played 94.5 minutes. Rolfer. Wide it goes. has to go in for Sweden. Was it kept in? It was. And Walsh on the ball. It's full steam ahead to Switzerland. The reigning European champions will definitely get a chance to defend their title. An impressive first half display, a more nervy second half display. No goals, but job done for the Lionesses. Sweden didn't threaten enough in the end, and they will head to the playoffs. They'll still be confident they could get through those playoffs, but it's matches that England won't have to play. They have got themselves to the Euros. And Lucy, how would you sum up the campaign?
Well, I think it's been a really difficult group, you know, having France, Sweden and Ireland in there. But England, they didn't find themselves in form right at the start, but they found a way. And I think that about this group of players under Sarina Wiegman, they certainly have that resilience and under pressure that they perform. And I think they've done so tonight, getting themselves through.
Yes, Gothenburg ends goalless. Final score, Sweden 0, England 0.
A really important point there from the Lionesses against Sweden. And a reminder as well, that's the first competitive point the Lionesses have ever won in Sweden. You have to go back 42 years to even get a point in a friendly. So really tough place to go. But they did exactly what they needed to do. And let me tell you why. In a pretty tough group, England have finished second. France, who were already qualified before the game started today, they actually lost 3-1 to the Republic of Ireland. Republic of Ireland were already heading into the playoffs, but that was an important win for them as well because goals and points, they all help towards the seedings in the playoffs to give them a slightly easier route potentially. Sweden missing out on the chance to automatically qualify, they will head into the playoffs as well. OK, I mentioned there, tough group, France and England and Sweden all in that. Ellie, it's not necessarily the easiest route, so just tell me how you think England have done.
I think they've done incredibly well to navigate this group. There's no guarantees. You know, England, Team GB didn't qualify for the Olympics. There's never any guarantees. So to come into this group, had a shaky start against Sweden at Wembley, 1-1 draw, lost against France at home, and then pulled an amazing result against France away. And then obviously, you know, not amazing performances against the Republic of Ireland on Friday, but today ground out another result. It's a brilliant show of character, I think, throughout the group for England. They've done it in the Euros, and then they can continue to defend their title.
We needed a bit of good news, didn't we, Karen?
I am buzzing. Like Annie said, we get to defend our title, but I look at the England players there, and they're kind of like, they're so used to, you know, maybe not in the Olympics, but that was obviously with Team GB, not qualifying for that, but they're World Cup finalists, defending our title now. So I'm really happy that we're through, because as we both said, we all said how difficult it was. It probably wasn't a vintage performance from us tonight, but here we go, finally some celebrations. Well, just qualified, so like you said, it's not a given. Nothing is ever a given. The standards of women's football getting stronger and stronger, so I'm really happy the team there are celebrating, because we need to be there.
They deserve it.
Look, they didn't seem sharp as well. As I mentioned too, that they are in their off-season. Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to get up for it or get into it.
They don't want to be in the photo, whoever it is. About 10
Go
minutes.
on without us.
Yeah, I think coming into the game on Friday, they've had 38 days off. I think they had a friendly against Netherlands, so they've had to keep ticking over. It's not easy, but I think they needed the break, to be honest. We talk a lot about how taxing the schedule is, and they've done it, you know, in the middle of the summer, in the middle of pre-season. But what I always respect about this team, the winning mentality, the ability to grind results out. You can't always be perfect. You can't always be on your top form. But this team knows how to win. They know how to grind out results. And now we can look forward to European Championships. It'll be here before we know it.
Look, they're not missing anyone. They're like every single member of the backroom staff. We want you in this picture. Yeah. I suppose also, Karen, the feeling will be of relief just to get that group done and make sure they've qualified.
Yeah, I mean, because like we are, you get the chance to defend your title, and that would be what a catastrophe. You know, I know we could have got into the playoffs, but we have to be there, and we have to be there to defend it and be front-footed. And World Cup finalists, regain that title again is what we should be aspiring to do, and we are. And this group is phenomenal. We've got a brilliant manager with us, so they should enjoy this, and preparation starts immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, you can tell they just want to break out of this photo. For goodness sake, someone just take this photo and let them go and do a lap of honour or something, because, as we said, Sweden is a very difficult place to go, historically, for England to actually go and get a single point, if anything.
Well, that's it. And listen, we've been part of games against Sweden. It is tough. They are a tough side. Yeah, and we always lost. We lost or we drew. But they're a tough side. You know, physical set pieces always a problem. But again, England ground out. They knew what they needed to do, and they got it done.
They did. Look, it was 0-0, and we've mentioned not a vintage performance. They did have a few chances, Kaz.
There were half chances, and for our standards, and to be fair, we mentioned the lack of match sharpness, and the hardest thing with match sharpness is in the final third. So I'm not surprised. I think the mentality today was all about that clean sheet. So these were not, like I said, cut chances. And maybe going forward, that's something that we really do have to work on, because in the whole qualifying, we haven't been as clinical as probably Serena Wigman would have wanted to. But the objective is to get through. And again, to be fair to Sweden, we highlighted it in the first half. They get a lot of people behind the ball, and they are a defensive team, so it's difficult.
Is it just me that felt a little bit like if England had have pushed a bit further, if they'd have got a goal, if they'd have got the 3 points, they actually would have gone ahead of France, and they would have got a little bit of a better route as well? Yeah,
I mean, credit to Republic of Ireland tonight, getting a result against France. I know France made 11 changes. Republic of Ireland were at home. You know, I know with our good friend Roy Keane, it's at Cork they're playing tonight. That's a big result. I don't know whether England would have been aware of that. I think really what was important tonight was just getting the result, getting the draw, not being too focused on what was going on in the France game.
As much as England limited England in the first half, they themselves, Sweden, became much more fluid in the second half and actually had fair more chances.
Yeah, they flooded a lot more bodies forward, and actually this was a big 45 minutes for Hannah Hampton, because they were throwing a lot of aerial balls in, and to be fair to England, put blocks in front. That was a big save there for Hannah Hampton, because it was a big decision her going in and ahead of Mary Earps tonight. But like we said, Sweden put a lot of people at this. Wow. I don't know why Kafaji didn't go down. You have to credit her to being honest, but I would not have been honest in that situation, because Leah Williamson has come in on her. She's been so vulnerable. If she'd have gone down, for me, the referee would have had to give a penalty. So I'm lucky there.
Leah Williamson will be counting her lucky stars there and saying, what a wonderful person you are, Kafaji, for staying on your feet, because, you know, for us as attacking players, you've got to go down. I think Kafaji will be looking at that, going, why didn't I go down? Again, this is a long-range shot. I think it swerved, you know, but it's a solid save from Hannah Hampton, because I think the ball moves in the air, and you know, she keeps it out and makes sure it's a solid save. I think Sweden will be disappointed. Yeah. They go into the playoffs now. They've got to go again in October.
That's it. England can thank their lucky stars. They don't have to go into the playoffs. No more extra games, and they've qualified for the Euros next summer in Switzerland. Why don't we hear from the England captain, Leah Williamson? She's been speaking with Katie Shanahan.
Leah, congratulations on qualifying for the Euros. What a nervy game.
Yeah, I think we said it the other day, right? We don't make it easy for ourselves when we don't score, because then those moments become even nervier. But I think, again, we've seen out a game, same in France. These are tough fixtures to come away, especially a stadium like this. It's small. Swedish fans were loud, and they were playing really well. So, yeah, good win. Good draw.
Sweden really tested you defensively, didn't they?
Yeah. They had change of tactics. They have different threats, which we knew before. Obviously, height being one of them as well. But I think we stood firm, and we stayed true. It's just, you know, we couldn't play the football that we wanted to play the second half, which put us under a lot of pressure. So I'm happy to see the game out, because it could have gone differently.
You played so well out there. Do you think that's your best performance in an England shirt since your return in March?
I think first half I really enjoyed that half of football. I think we played really well as a team. Just wish we'd reward ourselves with the goal. But yeah, I felt good. It's the end of the season. You know, it's hard. I haven't played as much as all of them, so if I didn't look fresh, then I'd be concerned.
It has been a mixed campaign overall. So how much more is there to come from this England team?
A lot more, and we took care of business. We qualified, which means we can prepare now, and we get the most out of ourselves ahead of next year, which is the same story ahead of the last Euros. So we all know how that went. I think everybody wants more.
Thanks, Leah. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, there you go. That's Leah Williamson, the England captain. Euro 2025 qualification officially ticked off. We will hear from the orchestrator, Serena Wiegmann, the England manager, next. Don't go anywhere.
It's Harry Kane. England on the scoreboard. And there it's me. The FA Cup is in Manchester United's hands again. Southampton promoted to the Premier League. Van Dijk might have won the Carabao Cup for Liverpool.
Do you want a bit more football? Well, you can have it, because there's plenty to look forward to on ITV this coming season. We are less than a month away from another Manchester derby at Wembley. That's in the Community Shield. And we are delighted to be back with England's men for the Nations League and their World Cup qualifiers. That is from September. Under whose guidance, though? And you can carry on watching Jude Bellingham, Kylian Mbappe and Lamine Yamal in La Liga action all throughout the season. OK, Serena Wiegmann has guided the Lionesses to yet another major. This will be her third as England manager. Let's hear from her now and see how delighted she is to qualify for Euro 2025. She's speaking with Katie Shanahan.
Serena, a tough test, but job done, and you've qualified for the Euros. You must be so relieved after that.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm very relieved, because indeed it was a tough game, and two different phases. In the first half, I think we dominated. Beside the last part, we just. Yeah, when you play so well, you're so dominant, and we have to create more chances and score goals. In the second half, we couldn't keep up that level. That's something we really want to do. Now we have a year to prepare. What we absolutely want to improve, keep the level, because we had it against France too. But yes, we did fight for it, and of course they bring more people up front. They want to press earlier, but still I think we can do a little bit better. But keeping the 0-0. Qualifying in this group, which is a very hard group, I'm just indeed relieved.
Why do you think that you didn't take your chances tonight?
Yeah, you can always say ruthlessness. Like, we had one huge chance, I think, the first half, and then we have to have the numbers, so we need to come across quicker to just finish that one. We had some moments that we could shoot on goal, and then we passed it. I think we had in the first half some very great opportunities with free kicks, where we didn't hit it, and they defended well, but we could have done better to make the chance bigger. Yeah, we'll review that later.
It has been such a tough group, so you can take plenty of positives just qualifying for the Euros and setting up next summer.
Oh yeah, I'm very happy and take many positives. The game show, France also, and this game, that in moments we play so good football, but we just want to keep up, and also not being dependent on what the opponent do. Even when the opponent presses, we want to do a bit better.
Leah Williamson said the whole squad are on a journey in terms of returning to their best. How far away are this team from hitting their top form?
We need a year. No, I think what you see now is you see moments that we play really well, and we want to do that longer, and also when the pressure goes up, that they are going to press us earlier, and yeah, that's what we need to learn. And we have some experienced players in the team that have experienced many moments. Like, this is a big moment. It's really hard to come on the pitch too, with the pressure they have. And now with the friends, hopefully we play some very good games that we can also develop. We can give players minutes. Who are knocking on the door, of course, because we're not a playground. And then when you get that moment, of course, you can take big steps.
And after the news about Gareth Southgate today, are you sad to see him go?
Yeah, to be honest, yes, because he's such a nice person and a great coach. And we wouldn't see each other all the time, but when we would see each other, it was very nice. And yeah, what he has done for England football is just really incredible. And it was, of course, they made the final again now. They made the final before the last Euros too. And yeah, I think he can be very, very proud of himself. I think England is very proud of him. And me as a Dutchie, I'm very proud of him too.
Thanks, Serena. Well done.
Thanks, Katie.
I bet she didn't like it when he knocked the Netherlands out there. I have to say, for Serena Wiegman, she's hit 53 caps now in charge. Gareth Southgate was 102 games, so Serena well on her way, the half-century, and so far she's just been so incredible. She was asked the question there about Gareth Southgate and what he's achieved, and I thought her answer on him, Kaz, is just the mutual respect between the two, because they both know what it feels like to lead a country, her two countries as well.
Yeah, they understand the pressures, the demands, and it's very different from club football and the, major tournament, the pressure that they're under, the scrutiny. It's really, really tough, and obviously they're all at St George's Park and kind of connecting, and actually a lot of the staff that we saw in the men's Euros will come through the Lioness as well, so everyone wants everyone to do well, part of the England setup.
They might be looking to St James's Park, though, for their next manager. I know Eddie Howe is one of the favourites to lead it. Thanks very much. How's my brain working after a month in Germany? I also want to ask you, she said, how prepared is this team and what sort of state are they in? She said, we need a year. Well, a year today is going to be the first quarter-final of the Euros, so she won't have quite a year, but she's got a little bit of time. Where do you think they are?
I think England now have this world-class reputation, right? So it's about, for me, how do you evolve? How do you become unpredictable? How can you bring in players like Jess Nars, Grace Clinton, Lauren James to come back, Jess Park? They're all players knocking on the door now for England.
They absolutely are. That's all we've got time for. Ladies, you've been brilliant. Thank you so much. Lots and lots to tell you about what is coming up on ITV this year and what's coming up in the immediate future as well. Tomorrow, the Tour de France is at stage 17 as the peloton heads towards the Alps. You can join Gary Immelch. You can also join the team. Live coverage from 2 p.m. and all the highlights is at 7 p.m. and that is on ITV4. And on Saturday, join Ollie Bell for the latest racing tips. Big discussions as well on the opening show from 9:30 ITV4, and join Ed and the team for a competitive afternoon's racing with Flat Stars on show at Newbury and National Hunt Racing from Market Race, and that is Saturday 1:30 here on ITV1. And in 1 week, England have experienced the lows of losing the Euros finals and the highs of qualifying for the next one, courtesy of the Lionesses. See you next time.